Hello. So this is going to be a walkthrough on checkpoint 11 using layer masks. Once you have clicked on the tiger and have downloaded him here, we'll go to your downloads folder. You can click on the downloads, take that HD background and just drag and drop it into Photoshop, and it will open up in its own document here. First thing to do, unlock that layer, and we're going to put a rectangle behind the cliff that this tiger is sitting on. No fill, but with a stroke color of your choice. So come over here to your rectangle tool, click on that, drag out a rectangle. Right now it has a fill, as you can see right here. We want no fill, so we'll click on none. And stroke color, we want to have some color, not black, because we're going to be adding shadows to this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and make it orange. And then you want to increase the size as well. Just go up here and get it to a pretty good size. Okay, once you have that done, you can click back on your move tool, kind of move it into a better position. You can click on Command T, free transform, and you can adjust it as well. There we go. And then the next thing we want to do, this is still editable as a shape, and we want to rasterize this layer. So right click on that layer with your mouse, go down to rasterize layer. And you see now that's gone, we just have a regular old layer. And we're going to need to zoom in here. So we want to mask this lower portion of our rectangle out of the way, but we want to do that non-destructively. We don't want to just go to our eraser tool and start erasing, because that's destructive. If I need to change anything, I can't. I have to rely on the Command Z undo tool. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a mask. Click back on this layer first. You're going to need to lower the opacity of it so you can kind of see through it to where you need to start using your lasso tool. Once you've lowered the opacity, go back into your mask, get your lasso tool out, Command plus will zoom in, and you just need to carefully, with your lasso tool, go over the edge of this right here. That's all we're really worried about. All right, you can zoom back out. Oop. Do that again real quick. Messed up as I was zooming out. Go ahead and zoom back in there. Get this edge carefully. All right, now I'm not so concerned anymore. And finish that selection. Okay, now all I need to do is get my brush tool, set it to a soft brush, make it smaller, and we're just going to use black to paint that out. Layer masks work on the principle of using black and white. If you paint black inside of a layer mask, it will hide it, so it's not deleting the information, it's just hiding it. And if I ever switch back to white over here and I paint back in, it'll come right back in. So I have full editing abilities here, but we want this gone for now. So black, and I'm going to paint that out. Command D to deactivate my selection. I'm going to click back on my rectangle layer, and now I can put the opacity back up. Okay, the next stage of the process is I kind of want to add a shadow, as though this cliff edge were casting a shadow onto the frame that we just made. So we want to do that non-destructively. So we're going to do that on a new layer, and I need to get a selection of my frame, because that's what I want to add the shadow onto. And anytime you command and click a layer, it will create an automatic selection of whatever is on that layer. In this case, our frame. So I only want to apply, if I were to go up here now, get my brush tool, set it to large, make sure it's set to black. I'm going to want the flow down some bit. But if I start painting here now, you can see it's painting on the cliff as well, because that's part of my active selection. I don't want that part of the selection there, so I need to remove that part from my active selection. So I'm going to go back to my lasso tool, maybe zoom in a little bit, Command plus, and I can do one or two things. I can hold the Alt key, and you can see that it gets the little negative icon there. Or if you come up here to your context dependent toolbar, you have the third option, which is subtract from selection. You can click that as well. And very carefully again, go over and you are going to remove the part that you do not want in your selection. So all of that is now gone. Go back to my brush, you can zoom out a little, make sure I'm on that right layer. And I'm not going to paint directly right here, but I'm going to use the feather effect of my light brush to just kind of click and keep building up those tones. And then same thing over here. I can click a few times. There we go. Maybe a little bit darker there. And Command D to undo that selection. So there we go. And then the final part would be to type out National Geographic. And we also want to use adjustment layers as well to make adjustments to our photo. I recommend vibrance. It's always a good one. It will increase the vibrancy of your picture without over saturating it. If you use saturation, it will blow out those colors, and oftentimes, whereas vibrance won't blow out the colors, but you can increase the hue and the vibrance. And I recommend going through these. You want to take a look at photo filter, take a look at color balance, brightness and contrast. Increasing contrast is normally good. This increases the black and the white difference in your photo. It's always good to have a little bit more contrast. So go through those and apply 3 for this checkpoint as well, getting used to what each one of these are.